In this tutorial, we learn indices. The rules of indices are A1, A raised to the power m times A raised to the power n is equal to A raised to the power m plus n. The A is called the base, and the m and n are called the powers. What you should be looking out for is that when you are applying indices in your algebra, the base must be the same. In this case, A raised to the power m and A raised to the power n have the same base A, and so we add their powers. An example is 4 raised to the power 3 times 4 raised to the power 6 is equal to 4 raised to the power 3 plus 6, which is equal to 4 raised to the power 9. This is because the base 4 are the same. The second rule of indices is A raised to the power m divided by A raised to the power n is equal to A raised to the power m minus n. Here, the base is the same. An example is 6 raised to the power 8 divided by 6 raised to the power 4. Since the base 6 are the same, it is equal to 6 raised to the power 8 minus 4, which is 6 raised to the power 4. The third rule of indices is A raised to the power m into bracket raised to the power n is equal to A raised to the power m times n, which is A raised to the power mn. An example is 7 raised to the power 2 into bracket raised to the power 3 is equal to 7 raised to the power 2 times 3, which is 7 raised to the power 6. The fourth rule of indices is A raised to the power negative n is equal to 1 over A raised to the power n. An example is 9 raised to the power 3 divided by 9 raised to the power 5 will give us, using the first rule, using the second rule, 9 raised to the power 3 minus 5, and this will give us 9 raised to the power minus 2. Or another way of looking at it is 9 times 9 times 9 over 9 times 9 times 9 times 9, which is equal to 1 over 9 times 9, and it's equal to 1 over 9 raised to the power 2. The fifth rule of indices is A raised to the power 1 over n. This one is known as the nth root of A raised to the power 1. It is usually said to be the nth root of A. An example is 4 raised to the power half is equal to that's the second root of 4 raised to the power 1, and is the same as root 4, which is equal to 2. for you to understand very well, using rule 1, an example is 6 raised to the power half times 6 raised to the power half is equal to 6 raised to the power half plus half, which becomes 6 raised to the power 1, which is equal to 6. Or we know that 6 to the power half is root 6. So root 6 times root 6 is equal to 6. The sixth rule of indices is a raised to the power m over n is known as the nth root of a raised to the power m. And that is the same as root a, the nth root of a raised to the power m. An example is 16 raised to the power 3 over 2. This one is the second root of 16, or 2 root of 16 raised to the power 3. This is the same as root 16 to the power 3, which is equal to 4 to the power 3, and is equal to 64. The seventh rule of indices is any number a raised to the power 0 is equal to 1 for all non-zero values of a, or for all or any value of a not equal to 0. For instance, you have a number a raised to the power 2 divided by the same a raised to the power 2. Using the second rule, it will be a raised to the power 2 minus 2, which is equal to a raised to the power 0. Okay. Now the same thing can be done as a raised to the power 2 divided by a raised to the power 2. And this will be a times a times a divided by a times a, and is equal to 1 over 1, which is equal to 1. This implies that a raised to the power 0 is equal to 1, and is the same for all numbers. An example is 3 raised to the power 3 divided by 3 raised to the power 3, which is equal to 3 raised to the power 3 minus 3, and is equal to 3 raised to the power 0. This can also be done in another way by saying that 3 raised to the power 3 divided by 3 raised to the power 3 is the same as 3 times 3 times 3 divided by 3 times 3 times 3. examples of indices. 1. We have p raised to the power 3 times p raised to the power 4 is equal to p raised to the power 3 plus 4, which is equal to p raised to the power 7. M raised to the power 9 divided by m raised to the power 6 is equal to m raised to the power 9 minus 6, which is equal to m raised to the power 3. And it follows suit. The rest follows suit.